Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Huts and I'm back for another Pokemon Go tutorial. This will be the second one, so I'm going to go over some more advanced concepts than in the previous video. But first and foremost, that's why I'm dressed like this, that's why I'm dripping in sweat, was literally just outside with Chantel getting some Pokemon. And I have this 10K egg right here that's just about to hatch. All right, let's see what we get. Let's do it. I'm so ready. I do believe this is a 10K egg. Give me something good. Oh, come on. Are you fucking kidding me? I literally already have a Jinx. It's 372, which is like, yeah, that's kind of cool. 39 Jinx candies that I'm not going to use ever again. 1,000 experience points, though, that's pretty serious. I wanted to show you guys what I got on my previous 10K egg. This Lapras. 559 CP Lapras. Pulled that sucker straight from the egg. And also I got 18 candies with it. So fucking pumped about that, yeah. All right, so I wanted to go over a few advanced concepts here. First and foremost, for those of you guys who are wondering, how do I not waste my battery? How do I save as much battery as possible when I'm playing this game? If you guys go into the settings in the top right, so you click on the Pokeball on the bottom, settings in the top right, you'll see this option called battery saver. If I click that on and off, if you leave that on, it's defaulted to off, I do believe. You put that on, when you flip the phone upside down, voila, it goes dark. So now it's barely using your screen besides having your battery up there and that faint Pokemon Go in the background. So if you're going for a walk, you're going to try to hatch eggs, you're on your bike, what have you, put your phone upside down in your pocket or wherever you can put it, and that should save you some battery life. The second thing I wanted to go over was locations of Pokemon. Now, it does actually matter where you look for the Pokemon. For example, I have to go by a lake for me to see any kind of water Pokemon at all. But where I am right now, as you can see, I don't get any water Pokemon over here. Oh my god, the Tauros. I already have like 6 Tauroses, so it's not that big of a deal, and they don't evolve, but getting more Tauros would be good to level them up. I get a lot of bug-type Pokemon and normal-type Pokemon where I live, which is actually right next to this lake. I do believe that there is somewhat of a mix that you can get random other-type Pokemon wherever you're looking, because I've seen Fire-type Pokemon in with my Grass-type Pokemon. I've seen Rock and Ground in with my Water. I have no idea where you would actually have to go to find a Rock-type Pokemon. If any of you guys know, like, do you live in a mountain range or somewhere near, like, some caves or cliffs or something that you find rock Pokemon? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, where do you find fire? In a fucking volcano? Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to go over was in this Pokemon menu itself and the Pokemon moveset. So I kind of went over it before, but it was very brief. The same exact Pokemon can have different movesets. Now, let me try to show you an example of this. If I go to something that I have multiples of, let's say Jinx here. Let's see if she's got different moves. Pound and Psyshock. And my other one has Frost Breath and Psyshock. So why does this matter? Well, first of all, if you're going to level up a Pokemon, like if I'm going to level up Jinx, or Power Up it's called, I might not want to power up the one that is the highest. I might not want to get rid of the one with that seems the weakest, with the weakest combat points, if they end up having the strongest attacks. Like Pound, I don't think that's very good. I would much rather have Frost Breath than Pound, especially when you're taking on an enemy that's very susceptible to ice. You know, maybe you should have an ice move as that ice Pokemon so that you have a little bit more variety. But the most important thing that I can think of with these movesets is the question, do I power up my Pokemon before I evolve them, or do I evolve a Pokemon first and then power them up? Is there a difference? Now, as far as Pokemon power, as far as how good they're going to get, there is literally no difference, or how much you're going to spend on it. There's no difference whether you evolve it first or whether you power it up first. But it is suggested that you evolve your Pokemon first. Because if you evolve your Pokemon, let's say a Caterpie into a Metapod, and that Metapod has absolute shit moves, you want to know that right away. You don't want to have powered up a Caterpie and then evolved it and then realize it has shit moves and have to start all over again, having wasted all of that Stardust. So evolve your Pokemon first. That's the proper way to make sure that you get a good Pokemon with the moveset that you want before you end up wasting all of your resources. One other thing that I wanted to mention is that you can see right here by the weight. There's height, right next to the type of the Pokemon. And either of these things can be extra large or extra small. Now you might think that extra small means extra weak, but that's actually not the case. Now I haven't had the chance to test this myself. I've heard and I've researched online, and it says that extra small Pokemon, they have lower damaging attacks, but they attack more frequently. And extra large Pokemon, vice versa, stronger attacks, but they attack slowly. So it sounds like it's gonna be about a DPS equivalent. But like I said, I don't know this for sure. This is just speculation at this point. Now, one more thing I wanted to go over is catching the Pokemon and different ways that you can go about catching the Pokemon. Holy crap, this is a CP250 Venonat. That's pretty serious. He's got the orange ring, you can see. That means he's going to be medium difficult to catch. So, as you can see, when I hold down the Pokeball, there is actually a ring that goes around the Venonat. And if I hit inside of that ring, you will get an experience bonus, as well as it having a higher chance to actually catch that Pokemon. So I can't stress enough that you really, really want to hit inside that ring. Now, it's very, very difficult, of course, to hit the ring when it's very small, but you get the most experience boost and the highest chance to catch that Pokemon. But it seems to me that if you just go for when the circle is very, very big, that's like right after it gets very small, if you can hit him then, that was not what I was trying to do right there. If you can hit him then, it seems like whenever I get a nice, which is like the lowest quality in the circle hit, if you do it, generally speaking, I haven't lost a single one yet. So you're going to want to do that to maximize the experience gained and maximize your chance of catching the Pokemon. Now, another thing that you can do is actually called a curveball. Now, there's no Pokemon around me right now, so I can't show you this right now. Maybe I'll put in some footage later, but if you spin the ball either clockwise or counterclockwise and then throw the ball will actually take a curved path. And if you are able to hit and catch a Pokemon after doing a curveball, you will also get a tiny little experience boost for it. One thing to note though is the curveball and getting inside the ring, they're not stackable. So you will only get an experience bonus for one of those things. Now, moving on to some rumors that I've heard. I've heard that if you throw from the top of the screen, instead of holding the Pokeball back at the bottom of the screen, that's much easier to get inside of the ring. Oh, here we go. Here's a Rattata. I basically show you guys the curveball first. So if I rotate this in any direction and then I throw it, you'll notice that it kind of curved around. Now, I missed him, of course. All right, let's try that again. It's a little bit harder to hit, but there we go. There's a curveball for you. So if you throw a Pokeball from the top of the screen, they're saying that instead of throwing from the bottom and having this arc where it has the chance to hit the top of a Pokemon too often, which is outside the circle, if you actually throw it at the top of the screen to start off with, it hits this imaginary ceiling and it turns downward much sooner. And because of that, it comes straight at the Pokemon and it'll hit the Pokemon in the front where that ring is. So you'll have a much higher chance of getting in the ring. I don't know if this is true or not. Like I said, this is speculation. Another thing that I don't know whether it's true or not, but it's been the case in my situation personally, is the fact that you can turn your augmented reality on or off, meaning that augmented reality, it shows the Pokemon overlaid over a whatever your camera is showing, and so you actually see it in the real world. You can turn that off, so you just kind of see the Pokemon in some sort of like virtual background that does not use your camera. It seems like the Pokemon is easier to catch when you use augmented reality. So if you're using your camera and you're catching the Pokemon then, it seems to me like they are easier to catch when you get them inside the Pokeball, that they don't break out as much. And now I would think that the reason for this would be because of the fact that it's kind of harder to get him in your crosshairs, right? You have to do more work to find him and then hold your phone steady and then catch him, that maybe they made it easier and have a higher chance to actually capture the Pokemon and ball. Whereas when you're not using augmented reality, you just you can sit wherever you want to. It's much easier to aim because you're not actually turning the frame of view. Once again, like I said, this is just something that I have noticed, but I don't know if it's actually true. Another thing that's just kind of speculation right now is this idea that you can get your ball back if you tap it fast enough after you throw and miss a Pokemon. Now, I have not been able to get this to work at all. I've been throwing balls, missing, and trying to get them back. It never worked for me. So if you guys have actually made this work, I'm calling on you. Make a video. Put it somewhere. I don't care if you put it on Imager. I don't care if you put it on YouTube. Put it somewhere. Get proof of this actually happening with the number of the Pokeball in the bottom right, and it better stay the same, because somebody needs to prove this. Or send me a link to somebody who did prove it, please. But as of right now, I don't think it's true. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about is berries. These raspberries. This is the only type of berry that's actually in the game. If you feed a Pokemon, if you throw it towards a Pokemon, the Pokemon will eat it, and then it says, on your next throw, your Pokemon will be easier to catch. Now, This is true. If you throw a raspberry and then you throw a ball, they'll be much easier to catch on that throw. But my question is it only on that next one throw? Say I give him a raspberry and then I miss the ball and then I throw another one. Is he still under the effect of the raspberry? I have no idea, and this is once again all speculation up to this point. But for those of you who didn't know, raspberries make them easier to catch. And you get plenty of them from Pokestops, so use them all day long. If there's a Pokemon that you really, really want to catch, use a raspberry first. Razz the crap out of them. One last thing that I want to talk about were the eggs. So if I go into my Pokemon menu here, I can go over, you see Pokemon is on the top left, and eggs are on the top right. If I go over to my eggs, I can actually see which eggs I currently have. And these eggs, I've gotten them all from Pokestops randomly. They are a random drop from the Pokestops. And they range anywhere from 2K to 5K to 10K. Those are the 3 types of eggs that I've seen so far. These are all in kilometers, to 5Ks and 5 kilometers. And you actually have to walk that amount of distance in order to hatch it. For example, this guy, I've walked 4.61 kilometers out of 5. He's almost ready to get out. Now, incubators, you start with one that has infinite uses, but on the bottom right here, I've clicked on this. I don't remember if I got these incubators from Pokestops or if I got them from leveling up, but it is possible to get multiple incubators. The ones you get past the original one only have a certain number of uses though, but I would suggest just use them up. Now, how to use an incubator is you click on an egg that is not in an incubator, and you click Start Incubation, and then you pick whichever incubator you want to put it in. Boom. Just as easy as that. Now he will start actually collecting kilometers and will hatch when he reaches his limit. Now there is a fantastic chart going around online right now that shows what's possible to come from a 2K or a 5K or a 10K egg. You'll notice that a lot of the 2K eggs, not very exciting. There's a few of the 5K eggs that are pretty good, and then the 10K eggs, they're all really, really amazing besides Eevee. I don't know what the hell Eevee's doing there. He does not belong, I'm sorry. But I've heard actually that Eevee spawns with enough candies that allows him to evolve right away. So if I think that, you know, having a Jolteon, Flareon, whatever Eon coming out of these eggs would be worthwhile for a 10K. All right, you guys, that's all I've got to say today about Pokemon. I think I'm gonna do one more video with some super advanced strategies that I've learned. I hope I've given you guys enough information to go out there yourselves and become a master. And I will see you guys in the next episode. See ya.